friends, welcome back. In this video, we are going to study the remaining three formulations given by the scientist Werner for COCl3 and NH3. So let's study them one by one. In the earlier video, we have seen the first one. Now we are having the second. The second, that is the CONH3 5Cl Cl2. Now this complex shows that in the square bracket there are 6 ligands. That means the secondary valency should be 6, and this 6 secondary valency is satisfied by the 5 ammonia molecules and 1 Cl. That means they are shown by the thick line. Whereas the two Cls they are present outside the square bracket. That means it should be shown by the dotted line. Now we know that according to the assumptions, each central metal atom or the ion satisfy both primary valency as well as the secondary valency. And for these formulations, the secondary valency is the 6, whereas the primary valency is the 3. So to satisfy the secondary valency, which is 6, 1 Cl minus is inside the square bracket. So let's see the structure. We are having, this is the structure. At the center we are having the cobalt. Then it is attached to the 5 ammonia molecules. They are satisfying the secondary valency. Whereas the 2 Cls, they are shown by the dotted lines. They are satisfying the primary valency. Now here there is a 1 Cl. This 1 Cl is bonded to the cobalt by dotted line as well as the thick line. That means it is having dual behavior of primary as well as the secondary valency. To satisfy the 6 secondary valency and 3 primary valency, this 1 Cl is shown by the dotted as well as the thick line. So we can say that as there are only 5 ammonia molecules, right, present in the complex, the 1 Cl minus ions will have to play the dual role of satisfying both primary as well as the secondary valency. So this Cl minus ion is shown by the thick line as well as the dotted line. It is directly bonded to the central metal atom, whereas we can say that this Cl minus, it is different from other 2 Cl minus ions. Why? Because it is present inside the coordination sphere or inside the square bracket. So as it is present inside the square bracket, it is non-ionizable. Hence it is not precipitated by the silver nitrate. So in the complex COCl3 5NH3, when we are adding the silver nitrate, we are getting the precipitate of only 2 silver chloride or 2 AgCl. Why? Because only 2 Cl, they are present outside the square bracket. So it is said to be in the first coordination sphere. Whereas the other 2 Cl minus, they are present outside the square bracket. That means they are shown by the dotted line. They are ionizable, and hence as they are ionizable, they should be easily precipitated by the silver nitrate. So the number of ions shall be only 3. How they are 3? We are having the CONH3 2 plus. This is the first ion and 2 Cl minus. So total 1 plus 2, there are 3 ions. And in the table that is studied in the previous video, we see that there are 3 ions, so which explains the observations. The third complex is the CONH3 4Cl2Cl. Now in this complex we can see that there are 4 ammonia and the 2 Cls, they are inside the square bracket, and only 1 Cl which is outside the square bracket. Why this is so? Because in this complex there are only 4 ammonia, and to satisfy the secondary valency, which is 6, the 2 Cls, they are inside the square bracket. So let's see the structure. So this is the structure of this complex. So we are having the cobalt, which is a central metal atom, and it is directly bonded to the 1, 2, 3, 4, total 4 ammonia molecules. That means it is satisfying the secondary valency. They are non-ionizable, shown by the thick line. Then only 1 Cl, which is shown by the dotted line. That means it is satisfying the primary valency. It is ionizable. Then we can say that there are 2 Cls. They are shown by the dotted line as well as the thick line. That means they are satisfying the dual behavior of secondary valency as well as the primary valency. That means they are directly bonded to the central metal atom cobalt, hence they are non-ionizable, and as they are non-ionizable, they will not be precipitated by the silver nitrate. So let's explain this. We can say that it shows only one Cl minus ion which is ionizable. Why it is ionizable? Because it is present outside the square bracket. That means the primary valency. So it is precipitated by the silver nitrate. So we can write COCl3 4NH3 in which we added the silver nitrate. As there is only one Cl which is outside the square bracket, we are getting precipitate of only one AgCl. Right? So it remains outside the square bracket. That means the second coordination pair. Then the number of ions possible from each molecule are 2. How they are 2? We are having a CONH3 4 plus. This is the first ion and 1 Cl minus. That means there are total 2 ions. 1 plus 1 total 2 ions. And which is exactly correct with the formulation which was given in the earlier table. Then the last one, that is the fourth one, that is the CONH3 thrice Cl3. Now in this complex we can say that all the ligands or the coordinating groups, they are present inside the square bracket. That means they are shown by the secondary valency. So let's see the structure. We are having the central cobalt. It is attached to 3 ammonia and 3 chlorines. These 3 chlorines, they are shown by the dotted line as well as the thick line. That means they are satisfying the dual behavior. So this complex, it shows no ionizable Cl minus ions. Why? Because there are no Cl minus ions which are shown outside the square bracket. So to satisfy the secondary valency 6, all the 3 Cl minus ions are shifted inside the square bracket. So all the 3 Cl minus ions, they remains inside the square bracket. That is the first coordination pair. And hence in this complex, that is the COCl3 3NH3, when the silver nitrate is added, there is no PPT. Why no PPT? Because no ionizable Cl minus ions are present. And hence, as there are no ionizable Cl minus ions are present, we can say that the compound would behave as non-electrolyte. Okay, so this is regarding the all the 4 formulations. Let's move on. Let's see the comparison of ions in 2 coordination pairs. So we are having the 2 coordination pair, that is the first coordination pair and the second coordination pair. The first coordination pair means the CONH3 6, that is the secondary valency, and the second coordination pair means the primary valency, which is the Cl2. So in the first coordination pair, we can say that they are in the first coordination pair. This Cl2, they are present in the second coordination pair. Then these 2, they are shown inside the square bracket, whereas this Cl2, they are shown outside the square bracket. Now these, they represent the secondary valency. The Cl2, they represents the primary valency. Then these are non-ionizable, whereas the Cl2, they are ionizable. And lastly, we can say that this CONH3 they are directly bonded to the central atom, whereas they are not directly bonded to the central atom. So this is the difference between the first coordination pair and the second coordination pair. Next point then, physical and chemical test to support Werner formulation of ionizable and non-ionizable complexes. So let's see this. We have to study the we have to see the physical and the chemical test. So Werner's confirm the number of primary and secondary valency of the metal ion in the given complex by the physical as well as the chemical test. So the physical methods, he used the molar conductance values to determine the number of ions per molecules. So how many ions are present in the given formulation? From that he used the molar conductance. So he used the molar conductance values to determine the number of ions per molecule. And secondly, the chemical methods. The chemical methods is the precipitation by using the silver nitrate. So methods like precipitation of Cl minus ions by using the silver nitrate to determine the number of ionizable Cl- ions per molecule. So these are the two methods which support the Werner formulation. Hence, the stoichiometry of complex AgCl form where the COCl3 6NH3. For this complex, there are 3 AgCl formation. For COCl3 5NH3, there are 2 AgCl which are precipitated, and for COCl3 4NH3, there is a single silver chloride precipitated. So this is the precipitation by using the chemical methods. And the last point is the charge on the complex ion. So in this we can say that the charge on the complex ion depends on the nature and a number of coordinating groups, or we can say the ligands attached to the central metal atom. So let's see an example. So consider the coordination compound PTNH34 2 plus Cl2. So this compound, it is obtained from the PTCl2. So how it is obtained? In this PTCl2, just there is addition of the ammonia molecules. One by one ammonia molecule is added to this and we get the formation of PTNH34 2 plus Cl2. So let's see this. If NH3 molecules are replaced one by one with the chloride ions, the positive charge on the complex ion decreases successively by 1 unit. So let's elaborate this. So let's have a table. In the first table we are having the formula, the second complex ion, then charge on complex ion, and finally number of Cl- ions ionizable. So let's take an formula PTNH34Cl2. So the complex ion will be Pt2 plus NH34 2 plus, right? Why 2 plus on this complex ion? Because outside the square bracket we are having the 2Cl which are having the -1 charge. Therefore complex will have the +2 charge. So charge on the complex ion will be +2, and hence the number of Cl- ions ionizable will be 2. Why 2? Because there are 2 Cls which are outside the square bracket, right? Then we are decreasing the number of NH3 ammonia. So we are having nextly platinum, that is a PTNH3 thrice Cl. Now here the secondary valency is a 4. So to satisfy the secondary valency 4, 1 Cl minus 1 chlorine from outside the square bracket is shifted to inside the square bracket. So the complex ion becomes Pt2 plus NH3 3Cl plus. Why plus? Because only 1 chlorine is outside the square bracket which is having a minus charge. That's why the complex will have the plus charge. So the charge on the complex is a +1, and hence the number of Cl- ions ionizable are 1. Why 1? Because only 1 Cl is outside the square bracket. Nextly, PTNH3 twice Cl2. Now in this, again to satisfy the 4 secondary valency, no Cls outside the square bracket. So the complex ion becomes Pt2 plus NH3 twice Cl2 0. Why 0? Because there are no chlorines outside the square bracket, hence it is having a 0 charge. That means it is a neutral complex. So the charge on the complex ion is 0 and the number of ions ionizable are also 0. Let's take one more example. That is a CAPE, potassium PTNH3Cl3. It is an anionic complex. Why anionic? Because outside we are having the cation, right? So this complex ion is the Pt2 plus NH3Cl3 minus 1. Why -1? Because outside the square bracket we are having the potassium which is having the +1 charge. That's why the complex having the -1 charge. Hence the charge on the complex is the -1 and the number of ions ionizable will be 0. Nextly, K2PtCl4. Again similarly, the complex ion becomes Pt2 plus Cl4 2 minus. The charge on the complex becomes -2, not -1. Instead of -1, here it is -2. And hence the number of ions ionizable are 0. So we can say that here, thus the charge on the complex ion varies with the replacement of the neutral ligands by the negative ligands. Thank you. So this is regarding the Werner's theory of coordination compounds.